This was once an outdated light bar on the top of a bathroom vanity, and I'm going to transform it into a very high-end looking chandelier. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Melissa from Welcome to the Woods. You can see the first thing I did was take apart the light bar so that all was left was basically the metal bar that covered up the wiring, and I'm taping off the sockets right now to spray paint. I'm using my favorite Rust-Oleum 2 times the cover matte black spray paint, and I'm doing the collars as well that go around the base of the light bulb. The look that I'm going for here is one of a raindrop chandelier, and I found this one online that I saw and I fell in love with the look where the beads just fall down at different lengths. However, the price was outrageous, and upon further searching, I found out that pretty much all of them are in the thousands. So I'm like, I can make this myself. What I did was I grabbed a 1 by 12 and I cut it to 42 inches, and I am painting this black. So this is also a matte black color, and this is just going to be the top of my light fixture and just blend in with the light bar that I'm reusing from that bathroom. Now I'm drilling holes with a 1/4 inch drill bit in all four corners of the board to string the light through with my rope, and also for the wiring that's actually going to make this light up. I had done a different iteration of this light fixture earlier, so this is the part where I extended the wiring. And what I'm using is a lamp cord, and I'm taking a wire cutters and just getting that plastic off the end so that the copper is exposed. Then you simply string it through and connect it with the wires inside the light fixture. So the ribbed wire, the ribbed part of the lamp cord goes and attaches to the white, and then the smooth one attaches to the black wire on the inside of the light bar. So I simply put the light bar on top of my painted 1 by 12, strung the extra lamp cord through, and then I measured to make sure that the light bar was exactly in the center of my 1 by 12 on all four sides, and I drilled little screws through the metal piece of the light bar to hold it onto the 1 by 12. Here I am replacing the cover for the light bar, and it has little screws on the side that I'm just going to secure that down with. Okay, now let's make this piece of wood beautiful. I got these string of beads off of Amazon, and I'll link them in the description of this video so you can find them if you want to make something similar, but they don't have like metal circles between them. I wanted ones that were more delicate than the typical chandelier strings of crystals, so I got these, and they're just on a line of string, so I'm stapling them onto the wood, and I'm using this simple stapler that's usually used for upholstery. I'm not measuring each strand, I'm just basically pulling it out about 16 inches or so, and then I'm looking that each one that I pull out next to it is sort of similar in length. Remember, these are all going to be cut to random lengths, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Now this part is tedious, as you can imagine, and repetitious. So I just want to invite you here to come follow me on Instagram, because the great thing about Instagram is I share in my stories the behind the scenes when I'm making all these crafts, and you can follow along in real time. So be sure to follow the link in the description of this video to come find me on Instagram. So you'll see here that when I got near the end, I went down and I secured all of my staples with a little hammer, anything that was sticking up, just so that each of my strands was very secure. I didn't cut each strand at this point, I looped each and every one. And I think I went through 5 spools of these beads, and so it was sort of costly, but in the end, the materials to make this added up to under $100. I think it was like $82 including tax. So definitely better than the thousands I found online. So to hang this up on the ceiling, I picked up a canopy kit from my local hardware store, and I strung the other end of the lamp cord up in through there. And you can see that it has a loop at the bottom of this canopy kit for me to tie off my ropes as well. So that's going to work really good. Now the first thing I tried was to put this up on a ladder and like a box so that it was suspended for me to work on the wiring. Again, here you just connect the white wire to the ribbed part of the lamp cord and the black wire to the smooth, so it's a very similar process. But what I realized was once I had it all wired in and strung up, I realized I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't get the ladder out because there's a string on both sides. So this is the moment here. Do you catch that little smile where I realized this and called for my husband to help me? So I guess now we know it takes 2 woods to screw in a light fixture. Just kidding. So yeah, I loved how this worked. He just held it up and then I tied off my ropes. Now, the ropes that I'm using is just paracord. So this is like a nylon rope you can get at the store. And I had leftovers from my hanging planter projects to do this with. So I tied it off, limited by how long my lamp cord was because you can't extend the wiring beyond what you cut. So I was limited by that, but I basically just tied it off so that each string had a knot underneath the board, and then I could kind of move it back and forth to be level. Now the last step was to come across with a scissors and cut every single one of my loops. I cut them so that one side is long, one side is short, and it was just totally random so that each of the strands fell beautifully. Now you're not going to want to leave your chandelier with the loops in for long because it can actually create a curve to the strand. So you want to cut this soon after you make the chandelier. Don't wait a day. I've made a couple DIY hanging things, and I have to say, this is my favorite by far. I really, really like how this turned out. I hope you do too. Tell me in the comments, would you replace the Edison bulbs like I did that are dimmable, or would you go with something that is a little more like daylight colored, not as yellow underneath these crystal clear beads? Help me out, I'm still undecided. So that's it. I hope you loved this, and if you did, don't forget to share it. I'll be back again next week with another DIY from Welcome to the Woods.